And on point two, we look at the healthcare story emerging from Bihar. New data suggests that an unusually high number of women are entering menopause in their 30s. And now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Big relief for peaceful student protesters as Delhi government assures not to take legal action against peaceful protesters. Actions does not extend to persons having criminal history. Karnataka Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar to hold an all-party meet on Kaveri River water sharing on August 2nd. Teacher shortage sparks school lockout in Rajasthan's Jalore. Protest prompts authorities to appoint 5 teachers and assurance to appoint more teachers in 10 days. India's golden boy Neeraj Chopra qualifies for Commonwealth Games javelin finale. Finals will be held on August 1st. And now the on point one. The political battle over the July 20th student protest has now shifted from streets to parliament. And at the center of the storm is one man, Union Home Minister Amit Shah. In the Rajya Sabha, opposition parties demanded that Amit Shah come to the House and explain the police action against students protesting the alleged NEET paper leak. They wanted an answer over allegations that the police used lathis, tear gas and even pellet guns during the crackdown in Delhi. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge demanded that the Amit Shah apologise, take responsibility and resign. He alleged that the students seeking the dialogue were met with force instead.
लाठी चार्ज का आदेश दिया, आंसू गैस का दिया और पेलेट गन का इस्तेमाल करने के लिए आदेश कौन दिया? न आप स्टेटमेंट दे सकते थे, लेकिन आप नहीं, क्योंकि आप होम मिनिस्टर को हिफाजत करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन बहुत दिन हिफाजत नहीं कर सकते। दिल्ली पुलिस किसके अधीन है? सीआरपीएफ एंड रैपिड फोर्स किसके आदेश पर काम करता है? इस पूरे घटनाक्रम का सर्वोच्च सूत्रधार कौन थे? कौन थे? अच्छा, मुझे मालूम नहीं। देश इन सवालों का जवाब चाहता है। अगर गृह मंत्री इनके जवाब नहीं दे सकते तो उन्हें इस्तीफा देना चाहिए और प्रधानमंत्री उनको पूछना चाहिए। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री की हिम्मत होती है या नहीं मुझे मालूम नहीं, लेकिन ये उसके जिम्मेदार है जो चीजें मैं आपके सामने रखा। अगर वे इस्तीफा नहीं देते तो प्रधानमंत्री को उन्हें पद से हटाया जाना चाहिए और दूसरे बर्खास्त करना चाहिए।
The Rajya Sabha chairman declined to direct the Home Minister to make a statement. The opposition continued raising slogans insisting that the Home Minister was accountable to Parliament. After nearly half an hour of protest, opposition MPs staged a walkout. A day earlier, Rahul Gandhi had gone even further. Rahul argued that there were only 2 possibilities. Either the Home Minister ordered the use of force or he was unaware of it.
Now, there are 2 possibilities. Possibility number 1 is he gave the order to shoot people with pellet guns, to beat people with lathis with nails, to use electric batons on people, or he didn't know it was happening. Well, if he didn't know it was happening, he's incompetent. And if he ordered it, he's culpable. There's no third possibility. He either ordered it or he has no idea what's going on in his ministry and he's incompetent. In either case, he has to go.
The government, however, has rejected the opposition's allegations. JP Nadda accused the opposition of repeatedly disrupting Parliament and changing the goalposts. He said the government was prepared to discuss every issue, including the proposed anti-paper leak law, but alleged that the opposition was interested only in creating disruptions.
देखिए, राहुल गांधी ने तय कर लिया है कि वो उस देश की संसदीय प्रणाली को नहीं मानेंगे, इस देश के संविधान को नहीं मानेंगे, इस देश की चुनी हुई सरकार को नहीं मानेंगे। वो जिस तरह एनार्किस्ट की तरह बिहेव कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। राहुल गांधी विपक्ष के नेता की मर्यादा को पूरी तरह चूड़-चूड़ कर रहे हैं। पार्लियामेंट में जिस तरह उन्होंने शब्द का उपयोग किया, कभी भी किसी पार्लियामेंटेरियन ने इस तरह के शब्दों का उपयोग नहीं किया है।
ये बड़ी स्पष्ट बात है कि अगर कोई भी ऐसे बंदूक चलाता है, पैलेट गन के द्वारा किसी की इंजरी करता है, तो निश्चित रूप से ये अनुमति तो कोई देता है ना। हाँ, अगर कोई कहता है कि एसडीएम ने अनुमति दी, तो क्या हमारे गृह मंत्री ने कहा कि एसडीएम ने गलत किया? आज तक कोई बयान आया गृह मंत्री का? नहीं आया ना।
कि राहुल गांधी का जो अटैक है गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी के ऊपर, उसमें गलत क्या है? राहुल गांधी जी देश की जो भावना है उसको व्यक्त कर रहे हैं। उनका इस्तीफा तो बहुत पहले होना चाहिए था। जब पुलवामा हुआ था, 40 जवानों को मारा आरडीएक्स से, किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? पुलवामा पहलगाम में हो गया, 27 हमारे टूरिस्ट को मार गिराया, किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? गृह मंत्री की है ना। क्यों बचाते हो आप उनको? अभी जंतर मंतर पर जिस तरह से बच्चों का आंदोलन बहुत क्रूरता से खत्म करने की कोशिश की, गोलियां चलाई, पैलेट गन, उसका रिकॉर्ड है पूरा। संसद मार्ग पुलिस स्टेशन की जनरल डायरी में उनका पूरा रिकॉर्ड बना है।
So does Parliament deserve a detailed statement on what happened on July 20th, or is opposition turning law and order issue into a political campaign against Amit Shah? Is the question. I'm joined by Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst, Javier Rodriguez, senior journalist and founding editor, Goa Chronicle, KV Prasad, senior journalist, Brijesh Pandey, input editor, News 9. Let me straight away go to KV Prasad first. I'll start with you, Mr. Prasad. Do you think the opposition has found a way to attack Amit Shah, or Amit Shah should come to the Parliament and say what happened on the 20th of this month?
Karthikeya, the fact that we right now have a monsoon session and this happened, the July 20th happened on day one of the session. It was bound to find reverberation in Parliament, the manner in which whatever happened outside, and as we speak, members of Rajya Sabha are still talking about it. Just a while ago, I was listening to Mr. Mukul Vasnik of Congress and also other parties, the BJP member of Parliament, Mr. Dr. Trivedi. So each one is putting his version or hers on the issue. So this is bound to find reflection in Parliament, and as I said, it is for the government to decide whether it wants to give a statement or not. But the members of the opposition are well within their responsibility and as a member of the Parliament to ask questions of the government. Now, it is for the government to take a call whether what it wants to say or doesn't want to say. That is where it stands, Karthikeya.
Okay, Brijesh.
Well, I think, if you go by the enormity or the magnitude of what happened on July 2nd and the cascading effect of the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan and the kind of, security scares which were raised about usage of pellet gun, the barbaric assault on kids and all, and the way, senior police officers were found acting, I think it's not improper to ask for a detailed statement from the Home Minister. What is wrong in it? Because I honestly don't think that, that if a political party is asking or demanding that Home Minister Amit Shah should come forward and give a statement, there's absolutely nothing.
Do you think Amit Shah is in a bit of a spot for the first time after so many years in government?
In a way, yes, I agree. Because the fact of the matter is that what happened on 20th of July, many thought that that the reason why this protest took a 180-degree turn was because of that. Had police not have used lathi charge, pellet guns were not used, the students were not manhandled and all, I think the situation would not have evoked such strong reaction from ordinary people. And that is the reason. It's not for nothing that the government let go of Dharmendra Pradhan. When Dharmendra Pradhan submitted his resignation, it was crystal clear of, the kind of discomfort it had raised as far as the government is concerned. And the fact of the matter is that I think perhaps for the first time, pellet gun has been used on a protesters in any of the cities and all. It was something which we have heard about only in state of Jammu and Kashmir. So if that has been used, if sticks using nails and all in it has been used, and majority of the fact check which Delhi police had given consistently turned out to be inaccurate. So I think, if opposition is asking for a statement from Home Minister, they are very well within their rights to do so.
Okay, Savio, to you, probity, sir, or politics?
Well, I certainly believe that the Home Minister must make a statement because it's very important for the Home Minister to also educate the people that are raising questions on the 2,873 criminals that were at the protest as well, hiding under the garb of students, out of which 101 were accused in murder cases, 62 in attempt to murder, 284 in robbery, 61 rape accused, um, 229 Arms Act offenders, and the list goes on and on. And I think that's important because the people of this country needs to know that while there were students protesting and they genuinely had a right to protest, there were many, many more who were not necessarily students out there. And let's not fool ourselves. This could have gone completely, completely wrong. And the intelligence inputs that were there with Mr. Shah's office was clearly that this could have gone totally wrong, and that's why certain steps were taken to curtail the escalation of the CGP protest. What you're seeing right now, as the Home Minister, does Amit Shah need to make a statement in Parliament? The answer is yes, he does. Right? Will he make he will make a statement. That is the understanding I have from my information, that he will make the statement at the right time and he'll put all the facts. That's Amit Shah's nature anyway.
Do you
He's
feel that
always
there was an
taken-
intelligence failure, Savio? Do you feel there was an intelligence failure? A lot of police officers who I've spoken to, they say that they feel that there was an intelligence failure. They thought it's going to be 5 to 7,000, 50,000 people descended in Lutyens, Delhi.
No, so I think it's a combination of several factors. Like I said, the students have a right to protest, and that is not something anybody needs to take away from them because they had a grievance. They believed that that grievance had to be addressed. It was not addressed by the government in the manner that they thought it needed to be addressed. But that does not discount the fact that under the guise of students, there were also many nefarious elements that could turn this genuine protest into something that could lead to casualties. Because my information from certain sections leads me to believe that the intent was to lead to severe casualties that would further raise questions on the aptitude of the government to control such sort of protests that turn violent in the national capital itself. So does Amit Shah need to make a statement in Parliament? I think that is absolutely correct. He needs to do it, and I believe he will do it at the appropriate time.
Okay. Your opening comments, Nikhil, and then I'll come back to specific questions.
I think it's quite funny to me that a Delhi police, which was so thoroughly incompetent that they could not estimate the number of people that would turn up on the streets of Delhi on the 20th of July by a factor of 10 to 20. You say that there are reports that indicate that they were expecting 5 to 10,000 people. I've also heard reports of 10 to 20,000 people, but the number of people that showed up, if you've seen the aerial drone shots that have been put out, easily exceeded a lakh. It was not 50,000. Some people are claiming it's about a lakh. It's some people 2 lakhs. Some people 3 lakhs. The streets of Delhi were totally swamped. That very Delhi police, which could not anticipate that level of crowd, is today coming out with sources and telling us that there were 2,873 people. We've used AI technology to identify how many of them were murder accused, rape accused. It is flabbergasting. It is bizarre. It is nothing but a diversionary tactic. Let's not forget that this is the same Delhi police which did not just do an inaccurate fact check. They outright lied. You had that RAPF personnel telling everybody that there has been no excessive force. Finally, the RAPF had to issue a statement saying, yes, there was excessive force that was used. Delhi police denied visuals of, police personnel having lathis with nails in it. Multiple videos from different media outlets and from regular people have shown that that was done. Similarly, there were videos circulating that showed Delhi police personnel and RAPF personnel pelting stones themselves at various points during the protest. The Delhi police does a fact check, which the PIB amplifies, and later on, again by metadata and various other videos, it is shown that yes, the Delhi police indeed did do stone pelting on themselves. Now, the point is, who is accountable for all of it? Will the Commissioner of Police of Delhi resign? Will the Home Minister resign? Because Rahul Gandhi very succinctly put it yesterday in his press conference. Either the Home Minister did not know, in which case he must resign because he is thoroughly incompetent. What is happening under his nose in the national capital on the first day of the Parliament session, he doesn't know, he should resign. or he is complicit, which is way worse, because then it would mean that the Home Minister of this country directed the Delhi police and RAPF to sexually assault women, to hit them with sticks that have nails in them, to tear gas and lathi charge them, to terrorize them, and he essentially carried out this whole operation to terrorize the youth of the country. So either he's complicit or he's incompetent. In either case, he needs to resign. But what is Amit Shah doing? He's just running away from the parliament. And Karthike, that is classic of what we've seen with this government. The moment they're in a fix, they choose to run away. Now, the problem is Amit Shah has this whole other boogie going on, that he's never traveled abroad. So unlike Prime Minister Modi, he can't take a flight and go off to Italy and then have visuals with Giorgia Meloni. That is the problem, which is why nobody knows where Amit Shah is. This is absolutely ridiculous in a democracy.
Okay, KV, before I come back to this issue, because yes, the violence did took place. There was supposed to be a press conference of police. I don't know why that press conference has not taken place. Police has claimed that more than 200 of their jawans and officers were hurt, and they were hurt. But there is also one more, I would say, debate, which the facial recognition, deployment of facial recognition technology sparked. Facial recognition technology is very, very important in, locating criminal elements in the crowd. But there's also Puttaswamy judgment in terms of right to privacy. There's a debate on that. How do you look at it? Because those facial recognition tech trucks, I saw them, they were deployed there. On one hand, there is an issue of law and order. Police needs to know the back data of the person. But on the other hand, you have this right to privacy. Do they reconcile? What is your view on it, KV?
Well, I think there are two aspects to it. While the right to privacy is there, but please remember, in the digital age, there is a digital footprint everybody carries. Okay. So, there's a flip side to argument that you give your data without any problems to all the whether it is Meta or, all those, Google. That's one argument. The other argument is, how do you define privacy in a public space? Because, by the way, there are cameras in and around which were put up in Delhi post Nirbhaya. We had this whole argument. Now the point is, do we have a very clear law where you draw a line? How? And surely, as I told you, Karthike, earlier there used to be spotters among Delhi police personnel or other people who would spot the miscreants to try and filter them out. Of course, today you have this technology where people are. So I think this is something which a debate has been held over the years. It has been held, but there is no refinement to it. I mean, if you go to some other countries, there are already 7 or 8 cameras chasing you all the time. You're actually digitally mapped throughout. You move from corridor to corridor, yes. Block to block. You're thoroughly blocked. You are not. So I think we do understand security is a big issue always, but how do you have to find a way out? And the civil society and the lawmakers and the police, because if you leave the police, they will go and ask for the moon always. I mean, you've covered Delhi police or other police. I have covered central police organizations, because that's their very nature. That's the way. But
see, one thing I understand of Delhi police is, in Delhi police is about MHA. Yeah. Delhi police is about MHA.
No, it reports to MHA. It doesn't report to the state.
It is not like UP police.
In fact, I should tell you, Karthike, I was reminded when you talked about the cancellation of the, I did not know, the presser or whatever. In 1992, post-Babri issue, there was a major protest in Delhi by the political party in opposition, which is now in government. And there were barbed wire fences put out near India Gate, Shastri Bhavan, all that. And that evening, we had a press conference by the then Commissioner of Police, Mr. N.B. Kaushal, at the lawns of next to Rail Bhavan, where there's a police post. So the police commissioner came and gave details, and we had some very tough questions were asked him. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And he very patiently answered. And of course, he also got flustered at a point of time. But what I'm saying, that's a very open system, and that's a democratic process. The police is there to protect citizens, but also has to do a job given to it. So I think that is something which here. So I'll leave it at that.
Do you think this entire thing is telling of two issues? I'll come to you. Brijesh, it's telling of two issues. For the first time, opposition seems to have upped their ante on Amit Shah after a long time, because Amit Shah that way had never made any political mistake or administrative mistake, and especially after revocation of 370. So do you think that this is the first time opposition has been able to do it on Amit Shah? PM के बारे में तो लगातार attack हुआ, but Amit Shah. And then secondly, this heavy-handed policing on the day one has backfired because nothing remains hidden on social media.
I'll answer your second question first. I think that was the biggest reason why the situation went out of control. The heavy-handedness, and the people may say that there were 3,000 miscreants in that. I mean, please go ahead and arrest all those miscreants. You send them behind bars, award them harshest punishment possible. But as KV sir was saying, what stops the Delhi Police Commissioner to come forward and hold a no-barred press conference in which he is the one who should detail out that these are the people who are involved in this, this is the kind of action we have taken. All of a sudden, there's no press conference by Delhi police about, about who were those people in their CVs, when they were clearly identified, pictures were taken, videos were circulated. No answer about that. There's zero accountability about, what has happened and whether that should have happened or the normal process has taken place. There's no press conference by Delhi Police Commissioner. There's no press conference by Home Minister. I think, they're well within their rights. And when majority of the people, they put their question mark that, how do we trust the data which is being put forth by Delhi police, because remember, this data was given on the last day. This data was given day after when Dharmendra Pradhan had resigned. So it came as an afterthought rather than, the reality of the situation. Second, to answer your first question, yes, I agree that, the Congress party and the other opposition parties also, Samajwadi Party and others included, they have, this time, they have put it a very robust and spirited fight in the both houses of parliament. And I think, the government is clearly on the back foot. There is no denying it. And had the government not been on the back foot,
is Amit Shah on back foot?
I think, for the first time, the invincibility of the Amit Shah is not visible there. I would say, had it been some other time, usually the kind of person he is, he would have come all guns blazing and would be the first person to argue and take the bull by horns. And he would have been the first person to stand there and say that this is what I have done. No, he has not done this time.
You will have your last word, Savio. You will have your last word. Nikhil wanted to come in. Nikhil. Savio को बहुत मजा आ रहा है. Savio, ठीक है. Savio will have the contrarian position. ठीक है. Good. Nikhil.
Karthik, I also wanted to point out three important points on the administrative aspect of things that have happened. First of all, there are many media reports now circulating which show that this AI identification data that the Delhi police has now been shared with other political players who are actually going and harassing many of these students who took part in the protests, including videos. And there's a video of a BJP MLA ordering the police to get a girl to the thana, and then that girl was harassed, and all sorts of nasty visuals that are coming out of it. Number one. Number two, this entire boogie that the SDM is the one who ordered the firing of pellet guns. Nonsense. Delhi has a commissionerate system of police. In Delhi, the law and order functions that usually the SDMs, the DMs and the divisional commissioners have, those functions are carried out by the ACPs, DCPs and the joint commissioners, and all of them report to the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the RAF works under the command of the Delhi police. So it is squarely, entirely under the Delhi Police Commissioner and the Ministry of Home Affairs. Lastly, one small example of how the government administratively botched up. I remember when the Bharat Jodo Yatra in December 2022 had come out to Delhi. Just for that route of the Yatra from the Faridabad border till Red Fort, you know how many DCPs had been deputed on special duty? 10. 10 DCPs, because one political leader was working with his political workers and other people who were willing to join in. But on the day when there was such a big protest call to the parliament, this was not a walk, this was a Sansad Gherao march that was there. Can the Delhi police or the Ministry of Home Affairs tell us, was there a single special DCP? To the best of my knowledge, there wasn't. RAF had 300 people on the ground, which amounts to about 20 companies. So are you telling me that 20 companies were being managed by a puny DCP? Because that is not how people who've covered the forces would know that is too small a position to be, directing 20 companies of RAF.
Okay, Savio, now I'll take the closing comments from you, in case Brijesh is interested to close it further.
No, I appreciate the points of view that Brijesh and the others, especially my good friend Nikhil, is making, and I appreciate that. The fact of the matter is Amit Shah will speak in Parliament at the appropriate time when he needs to speak. All the doubts that they have, I'm sure he will answer all the questions that they have in his own way, because there will be not only these questions, other questions as well.
And knowing Amit Shah, as Vijay clearly said, he's not somebody who likes to keep quiet. He's somebody who likes to come on guns blazing. So he will, but he has to have his ammunition with him to come guns blazing. No? So allow him that time to complete that investigation, collect the ammunition, and come into Parliament and give the reply that the people of India require. And that's what he's going to do. I mean, I'm sure Nikhil at that point of time will continue to have questions, and that's normal. Because if Nikhil doesn't have questions, then he and I cannot, go tit-a-tat against each other. So I appreciate that. But does Amit Shah need to come into Parliament to make a quest to tell the people what exactly transpired? I believe he needs to, and he will.
Okay, KV, you wanted to come in. You raised your.
Yes,
5 second comment can I have?
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. There is time. There is time. There is time.
Once the Home Minister makes a statement as is anticipated, and Mr. Rodriguez is also put it for that, he will do it at his time. That, as I said, it is for the government. Right at the beginning, I said it is the government to decide on its timing when it wants to respond. But let me tell you, that may not be the last. Just a statement can lead to a discussion, because that again is an opening that members of Parliament would make, that we want a full-fledged discussion on some rule. Whether, again, that discussion admitted or not are separate issues, because that has to be negotiated between the parliamentary managers on every side. So I don't see it's a mere statement ending this issue, because the opposition will try and take it further. That's my understanding.
Okay, Nikhil.
There's just one more thing I wanted to add. Just like, I mean, Savio can answer this. I mean, he may use his good officers with the MHA to find out. I mean, everything is all right. But what led the government to give permission? When was the last time we saw, Deepke landing in India at the airport, all the top police officers, which otherwise were conspicuous by their absence during when the lathi charge and all happened, they were all there at the airport, giving him permission to do dharna and all. I mean, what was the reason? What was the thinking behind it? Especially when 20 days later, you had a monsoon session of Parliament, knowing fully well that how this is going to turn out.
Well, when the youth of this country come in and want certain, liberties to express what they're going through, I think it's only fair that a government does something.
You seriously want me to believe that, Savio?
I'll tell you something, but first, Nikhil.
I would love for you to believe.
Nikhil.
I wanted to point out two things. So one, Savio saying that the Home Minister is going to collect all ammunition and come to the Parliament is perhaps not the best metaphor at this point of time. Of course, I'm saying that on a lighter note. Secondly, to answer Bridesh's question, if I were to hazard a guess, I think the government allowed Deepke to come down and organize this protest because they thought that this would be a pressure wall, because they also very well understood that they've been throttling dissent in this country to a very high degree, and something like this was needed. But they ended up creating a Frankenstein's monster. They had no idea the amount the protest would snowball, and I think that if there are two people that Amit Shah should really have the ED on, that is, on a lighter note, I'm saying, Chief Justice Surya Kant with his cockroach remark, and then the new Delhi Police Commissioner who picked up Sonam Wangchuk in the manner that he did, and what happened on the 20th of July. Because let's not forget, until and unless Sonam Wangchuk was picked up in the manner that he was picked up, the protest hadn't nearly swelled up to what we saw. It was just a couple of hundred people on the best day, maybe a couple of thousand.
I don't think there were more than 200 people there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
More than 200. I think there were 200 people and there were 50.
Everything was triggered when when there was all this white sheets and put around Sonam Wangchuk and he was forcibly lifted. I think that was the first trigger, big trigger. The second big and perhaps the biggest trigger was
I think when we are missing woods for the trees. When we talk about a trigger, Savio, we are also accepting the fact that there was something deep, which was taking a churn in Indian society. Something deep, generally we think that every youth is politically affiliated. I went there. I saw frontal organization was left. उनके बैनर्स लगे थे. ऐसा कुछ छुपा ही नहीं था. वो बैनर लगा के अपने pamphlets, SFI के बैनर्स लगे हुए थे वहाँ. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. The water bottles were coming from Kerala Bhavan. Any journalist would know.
See, that is the reason, इतने खुले में हो रहा था कि nobody was willing to give it a spin.
I was not surprised at all कि वहाँ केरला भवन से पानी आ रहा है, यहाँ SFI का. But I think where they really didn't gauge the churn was the average age of the protester. That was so different from Hazare's agitation, Savio. I have covered both of them.
No, but
it was so different.
Karthike, with all due respect to all of you all,
The fact of the matter is that the youth of this country, all said and done, has every right to come out and protest. And yes, what is worrying to us as well as a citizen and as also somebody who supports the BJP is why did it get to be violent and why did it tend to get so aggressive? And that's an investigation that is currently in the process. And I think Amit Shah will tell the people of the country what went wrong. See, because at the end of the day, you had protests in other parts of the states as well. We had a protest in Goa, which didn't turn violent. We had a protest in other parts of the states where there were some altercations, but not the kind of violence that you saw in Delhi. So I think it's a matter of us as citizens of this country to try and understand what terribly went wrong. And that, again, is the responsibility of the Home Ministry. And I think it's only fair that Amit Shah comes and talks to the people about it.
Oh, absolutely.
So every person has a question, that's right.
Absolutely. Home Minister needs to come to the House. The House is going on. I think people need to know. People actually need to know that if there were criminals, that they should have been picked up by using the facial technology. But well, anyway, there are a lot of things on this side, there are a lot of things on the other sides. But I think the bottom line is that for the first time, the government is on a spot, and it's in a spot which has not emanated from the opposition parties. It's in a spot because the pressure had come from civil society. Though people can say that, political affiliated organizations are involved, but the broker education system needs to be fixed in this country. There's great, deep student resentment. Ye aaj ki baat nahi, Shavo, on this note, I'll close. I have a doctor. He's a cardiac surgeon. He does my BP. Last 3 years, he has been sending me videos on NEET. I wish I had taken him more seriously because, I thought कि उनका है ही NEET पे भेजते रहते थे. Now I realize that, it's not something which he was doing it. It was something that was being felt by a lot of people. And this pressure emanated from the constituency which supports BJP deeply. So, BJP should think twice about it, the middle class. And it emanated from the middle class.
And the students.
And the students.
Karthikeyan, let me tell you where I think also the guidelines, where a lot of the general category people, that is a larger base of the supporters of the BJP, felt a little irate with the decisions that were taken on the new UGC guidelines. So technically, this is not something that just spurred on. This is something that has been accumulating over a period of time.
Yes.
And then they got a vent to the anger. So has BJP erred? Of course BJP is erred, and it's only prudent to understand where you erred and correct yourself. Right? So that's how I see it.
Absolutely. But well, we'll get to see whether Amit Shah breaks his silence in either Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. Thank you all of you for joining me. This is all I had on point. But after the break, I have another on point, and that's about the healthcare story that has emerged from Bihar. And the data now suggests that unusually high number of women are entering menopause in their 30s.
Dear bestie, how can I thank you for those long, tight, it will be alright hugs, for those unladylike laughter sessions, for healing me? How can I thank you? They say the truest friendships cannot be manufactured. They simply unfold naturally. How true that is for us, bestie. Love from Bestie Collection, natural diamond bracelets for you and your bestie.
अर्जुन कुछ भी पढ़े मेमोरी में नहीं रहता.
Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, preservative के बिना. Dates, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया. Lion Dates Nut Bites. Lion Date Nut Bites.